to the one we are actually live. There you
No, your eyes are not deceiving you. It is me.
go. I don't think the eyes are deceiving us. So
That's one of
now we
my.
got
That's one of my favorite lines out of Peter Sellers' Pink Panther movie. When everyone thinks he's dead, he kind
right.
of comes back and says, "No, your eyes are not deceiving you. It is truly me."
It is truly me, the Pink Panther. I love the Pink Panther movies when I was a kid. They don't
Inspector
make movies
Clouseau.
like
Oh shit!
Inspector Clouseau. They don't make movies like
Shiesty.
that anymore.
One of the screws in the ST Dupont, I heard it just go loose. Now that is a risky. When you lose that screw,
Yeah.
oh, that's 70 pounds for something that is not a millimeter.
Are we talking about a lighter now?
We're talking about an ST Dupont lighter.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize that. Well, this morning I'm going to smoke a Montecristo Especial.
Especial.
It's
That's
Especial that was given to me by a fan.
that's from the
This is-
Dominican Republic.
yes, it is. Unfortunately, it is not. It is not your Cuban. I will say though, the um, the Don Emanuel's. I finished them this week, and they were a great smoke. I was really happy with those.
I'm
And
very
since we're
happy
going
for
to
you.
talk,
I'm
yeah,
very
thank you
happy
very
for you.
little. I'm going to do this so we can get all the legal stuff out of the way really quick for the fans.
This is True OF Entertainment.
Welcome to Habanos Saturday, the fastest growing cigar show on YouTube with over 100,000 subscribers. Come join us every Saturday live. Every Saturday live.
And now, without further ado, if I may,
Yeah.
it's the birthday boy. He's wearing his little fez on his head, and I don't mean a hat. So I think this is
Let's
going to be
move
very
this one.
exciting. Yeah. Oh, you better put a hat on. If I knew that,
I
I
was
would
going
wear a
to.
cup. So should we bring him in? I mean, he hasn't been here for like a month and a half. You know, he's so popular
Oh,
now.
let me just say something. Let me just say
Yeah.
something.
hmm
It was a little warm in the room today, so I put some sunglasses on and I feel a little cooler.
Yeah. You look cooler. You look cooler. Let's see what the birthday boy is wearing today.
Birthday
Ladies and
boy,
gentlemen,
there he
there he
is.
is, the
There
birthday
he
boy.
is.
12 minutes
Resplendent,
late to his own show,
resplendent.
but he's here.
A year older, a year wiser.
He
How's
looks
it, sir?
older. Yeah, he looks like he's like 80 now. I don't think he can hear us.
Hello, everyone.
No.
Apparently, he can hear us.
People can't quite believe that it's you, but it is you.
Yes.
I promise.
Gio,
It's
to
you.
your birthday, my friend. There you go.
Thank you,
Gio,
thank
to your
you,
birthday.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right,
Mm.
so I see Stephen is Stephen,
Someone's got to be
and
Steven.
of course, and I see the cool cat is the cool cat.
There you go.
Just the fact that he's wearing some sunglasses indoors, smoking some fancy cigar right
Well, I
now.
wouldn't be the first person who wore stupid glasses and stupid hats indoors, and I'm not talking about you. I think it's a part of the cigar smoking scene.
That's
But
right.
Usman does it very, very elegantly, and
He does.
we could talk about that later.
He does it without pants. So, you know, it's the whole thing to be seen. So it's exciting.
I was
Happy
very-
birthday to you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
really.
you very much. Thank you
So
very much.
now, so how old are you in human years?
Oh, well, 42 years of my heavy existence on this world.
What, 42? Seriously? You're only
it's
42?
No,
That's
this is
Scotch
a
older
cigar
than
show.
you.
No, this is a cigar show. This is a cigar
Okay.
show, right?
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
In terms of aging cigars,
Mm-hmm.
Usman, where are you? Are you 6 to 8 years in?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Right. So thank you very much for bearing with me. Actually, the reason for my 12 minutes of delay was the birthday lunch that was happening because of a few friends who were in Lahore and had returned. So they had arranged a surprise birthday. I had to be at lunch. And that's it. Someone has
Okay.
shared love with us saying, "Get out of YouTube." Okay, sir, we shall do that.
I don't know what that means. I just typed him and it says, what does that mean? Get out of YouTube. His name is ZX or whatever, something. So what does that mean? Get out of YouTube. I don't understand. Do you want to see us live? If you want us live, you pay for our flights. We'll come hang out with you for the day. That's the way it works.
I agreed with that.
Yeah,
So
I don't understand. What does that mean? Get out of YouTube. We're not technically in YouTube. We're actually in different countries. We happen to
Mate,
be
if you don't want to
broadcasting
watch,
on
switch
YouTube.
off.
Yeah, really. If you don't like it, you can go play my
Switch
favorite
the
game, which
fucking thing
is
off.
yeah. And and this is one of our fans, I'm assuming. So he can go play our favorite game if he doesn't like the show, which is go hide and go fuck yourself. Now, and now we have Nader. Nader says, "Greeting, gents." Nader, thank you very much. Hello to you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank
See,
you
there's a
very much.
proper gentleman, not somebody that tells us to get off of YouTube. So
Yeah.
let's find out who this guy is, and let's just all go after him. Let's literally just find out who it is.
Turned out to be one of Usman's buddies.
I know.
Well,
You know what it is? It's probably
well,
Donald Trump. That's just
someone-
Donnie's code name. Because Donnie watches the show, he just can't tell people. So
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
fair enough.
Right. So, what are you guys smoking?
Rizza didn't tell anybody, but I'm smoking a Montecristo Especial.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very special. Rizza apparently has got no picture anymore. God knows what he's
Whoa.
doing.
Really?
No, bear with me 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
Just,
He's probably changing his glasses to look cooler.
I'm changing my glasses to look even cooler so that I can actually see you.
Wow, look at
Usman,
you.
guess the Vitola, Usman.
Wait, huh?
Bear
What?
with me. Let's guess the Vitola.
Okay, wait.
It's a cigar.
It's a Partagas.
Correct. 1 point out of 5.
What do you know? What? The
It's
second
a
point
Cuban.
is,
Wait, it's a Cuban
It's
cigar.
a Cuban one. Point 2. Third one, the premium tobacco coming from Vuelta Bajo region in Pinar del Rio. Point 3 scored. Fourth point is. Can you just hold it still so that I can see the shit? Okay, so this is definitely not any of those. It can be a P2. I can't really say how you've
It's
cut
not
it.
a Parvez Dusra. That's not a P2. P2 would have the.
Well, I don't know how much you've got.
It's
No,
just not a
I would never cut a P2.
Show me the
that much.
ringgit.
I
Show
mean,
me- show me-
even.
Yeah.
Show me the ringgit. Show me the ringgit.
My God.
Club
I
Kings?
feel like I'm watching a porn.
Partagas Capitolis? Or something like that.
Going in the right direction.
Going in the right direction. So
Guys, it's
if,
only a 3-hour show.
if it's the right direction.
Let's
which
see.
means-
Let's see if you get it by the end of the show.
No. If it is if the ringgit is in 40s, then it can be the Partagas Capitolis, Super Partagas.
It's one you don't get in the UK. It's
I don't
one
know what you. I don't know what.
Right, but it's one of those. Okay, it's one of the slightly rarer. It's not overly expensive, but it's slightly one of the rarer ones, which I, from time to time, I wax lyrical about.
898.
No.
Okay, Partagas 898, Partagas Milliflares, Partagas.
Milliflare will be a smaller ring gauge than this.
40s. So because I can assume it is 42 ring gauge types that you're smoking. If that's the case, these are the only things that are coming to my mind. Now you can let us know what is
We'll leave it till the end of the show. It's
Yeah,
very,
I mean,
very hot
and you
it's very hot and chilly in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
and you call yourself a sommelier.
No,
Fine.
that was the clue. That was the clue. Usman, that was the clue. Usman, that was the clue.
Yeah.
It's a bit chilly.
Yes, he knows that's a clue. Yeah, the
It's
hat.
good.
Listen, just because he's wearing that hat, that doesn't make him like a goof. He's got it. So So now, Usman, all the
Mhm.
fans want to know: do you have
Yes.
a Habanos history this week?
Of course I do. Of course I do have it.
All right. Okay.
Do you want to listen to that?
Well, in a few minutes we will. Well, we want to know what you're
Oh.
smoking. Get the fans.
What?
going,
I'm actually letting the gang know that we are live.
We are. And Nadar says, greeting, gents and senior. I guess he's referring to you because you're the old guy with your birthday.
Where are you
Yeah.
reading all these things? I never
Under
understand
comments. Is a whole thing called comments. They light up. It's a great thing. You should probably look into it.
Yes, once in a while, it's better to actually log in, brother.
Yeah. Oh, and then Usman posted to all the fans. It's his birthday special. You definitely want to watch it. Yes, there'll be dancing girls later, everybody. Don't worry. The people on the
Right,
podcast
so-
are sorry you're going to miss it.
So we're
Yeah.
talking about the Habanos histories, or we're talking about the cigar that I'm smoking now.
What
Let's
are
do the
you
cigar.
smoking
What are you
right now?
smoking, and then we'll go into the histories.
Right. So first things first. You're seeing an interesting hat that I'm wearing today.
Yes.
This is a present that has come all the way from Serbia.
Wow. We have
Dear
fans in
friend-
Serbia.
Yeah, a dear friend, David, with the Instagram handle 52BHK, a very young, smart fellow, has sent me this present. So I am going
Is he young
to-
and smart because he sent you the present, or is he just young and smart regardless?
He's actually young and smart,
Okay. Okay.
right? So
Well,
that's
thank you,
why-
David.
So I was like, I will wear this today. And I'm going to smoke again a cigar, which is again about the present arrived yesterday, along with which is sometimes
Big
very
R.
rare to find.
Sure.
Yeah, so this is Habanos Robaina.
Very nice.
This is another present that I got yesterday. It's a very multi-purpose kind of cutter slash lighter slash puncher slash nubber
It's got a
slash.
V cutter. It's got a V cutter. It's got a straight cutter.
It
right?
has no straight cutter. It has a V cutter.
Yeah.
It has a punch.
Okay.
It has a nubber for the end,
Nice.
and
It's like the Swiss Army knives of lighters.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of the concept. Along with that, it has a lighter,
Nice.
and it has a cigar rest that you can put it on.
Oh. And
And
later
it's
today,
like-
it'll pour your drinks.
And
So-
at the end, if you want to hit someone, you can actually throw it on their head, and it'll chop their head off as well because it's heavy.
Not that we can,
So-
not that we promote violence on our show.
Yeah,
you know.
the brand is called Claro, and it's made by Case Elegance.
Oh, very nice.
So they're the ones who've done this. And with that, I'm gonna first light up my cigar, and then we'll talk about the histories. In the meanwhile, Raza can tell us more about his cigar because I give up on.
Oh, we don't want to hear about his cigar. We're going to talk about politics, UFOs, the pyramids. We're just waiting to run the new promo that people have been getting teased with for the last 6 weeks about Habanos history.
Of course,
Greetings
we are.
from oh, we have someone from Oman. A special hug for the birthday boy. Now
Thank
listen,
you, Asad Bhai. Thank you,
that's
Asad
not
Bhai. I've not seen who it is, but I can tell it would be Asad Bhai. Yes,
and
it
you know what?
is.
And you know what? We want to thank you for the birthday wishes to Usman, but we do want to say we're not that kind of show. But anyway.
Right. So
hello. And another, wait a minute, you have another one. Abdullah
Cheers.
says, hello, guys.
you.
Hello, Abdullah. How are you? Riza,
thank you,
feedback please
Abdul.
about your previous post. I don't understand what that means.
Right.
Feedback
Right.
about your
So
previous post.
now that I've actually shown my present and I really like it because
Yes.
it's gotten hot, so I wouldn't be able to keep it wearing.
Okay.
The entire show, I'm gonna take it off, and I'm gonna light my
It's a very
cigar.
elegant looking
I'm gonna
hat.
talk
That was
more
an
about-
elegant looking hat.
It is a very
Yeah,
elegant looking hat.
It's just that it is almost around 40 degrees Celsius here.
So wait a minute, for the people in America that don't understand Celsius, that literally makes it 110 Fahrenheit, just so we're clear.
Whatever that
Yeah.
means.
Well,
Right.
that means it's 40 degrees Celsius.
Ah,
So there you go. And Abdullah says, hello, guys. Abdullah, hello to you, my friend.
Thank you,
and-
thank you.
And then I'm not sure Nader wants Rizza to get back on his previous post. I don't know what post he's talking about. Yeah,
previous
Nader, can you
post?
tell us what
If
post?
you could
And we'll,
clarify, then I
Yes.
will see if I can rewind the brain to that post.
yeah, that's going to be an interesting show just there.
You and rewinding the brain is a
Mm.
totally new thing for me. But okay, fine.
There
Right.
you go.
So Habanos
Yeah.
history.
Wait.
I love you
We
too,
have to
Usman.
wait. You want to do? Are you actually going to do a Habanos history? Everyone is a world
Oh
first.
no, not
Sit
again.
down. Not again. Here we go. Now the stopwatch will start, and just so we're clear, we don't know if this is even like we're all excited. I don't even know if it's real. This is how excited we are that you're
It
Habanos
is very
history.
real. It is very
Okay.
real, with the exception of the fact that the name of the cigar doesn't
Yeah, it's the
start with
wrong
one that
cigar.
you played. So
Right,
see,
we know.
that's my choice, right? So I don't feel like doing Ramones today because
Monkeys.
Vegas Rubina is something that I'm smoking. So I thought, why not? And also,
Sure.
I mean, what's the fun in giving a heads up to Raza? He'll come up with 5 more stories about it. So that's the fun of not telling him what I'm going to talk about.
All right.
And
All right. So
keeping
we,
it.
Having said that,
yes.
in the last year and a half, Vegas Ravina is a brand that I found very interesting. Even Usman knows this. I find that brand. I'm actually very interested to hear what Usman's going to say. So I'm going to cut the chat and I'm going to cue over to Usman.
Are you gonna time him? By the way, before when we come
No
back from
timing, no
this,
timing. I'm
okay.
letting him go with the flow. It's his
Oh,
birthday.
okay.
He can say
Wow.
what the hell
Let
Oh,
he
me.
wants.
wow. I got
Wow.
a free class today. Wow.
First of all, birthday boy, calm down. I'm going to go get my pillow and a blanket because it's going to be a while. And Riza, while he's doing this and you're nodding off, Nader wants you to talk about the post about the monkeys, whatever that means.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Yeah, the
shit.
monkey, it's
I
a
didn't
monkey
say
post.
anything. Usman,
Nader, you
Usman, I
seriously
said
go.
nothing.
Nader,
Usman, I said nothing. I
yeah,
said
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
nothing.
right. Nader,
I
you
said
seriously
nothing.
go.
The
Nader, you
marketing
seriously
is
don't want to.
so fucking strong. The energy is so fucking strong. I said nothing.
Okay. Well, anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is
अब
our
मैं चुप
cigar
बैठा रहूंगा
saturday.
अब उर्दू में चुप बैठा रहूंगा
Right.
Listen.
So,
If you want pizza, go down the street. Here we go.
okay, right. So, Vegas Robina is a brand which was introduced in 1997. So, one of the newer brands from the perspective of the brand portfolio in Habanos 28 brands. And out of those, Vegas Robina is a brand which got its fame and popularity because it was named after one of the most famous and outstanding wrapper grower in the Vuelta Bajo region in Pinar del Rio, Cuba, Don Alejandro Robaina. So, which is why that is why this brand was created. The brand has the band on this cigar or all of the cigars is very unique because it is a very golden touch with an R in signifying Mr. Rubina. Very much medium to strong and full body cigars. One of the most famous, I would say, cigars in their portfolio were named after Don Alejandro, which was double Corona size, which is Don Alejandro or double Corona or Prominentes or whatever you want to say, Don Alejandro, that was discontinued in, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around 2008, 2009. But right now, there are only 2 Vitolas in regular production of Vegas Robina. One being this, which is a Robusto size, or kind of a Robusto, which is a 48 ring gauge, Famosos. And then there is an Unicos, which is the Pyramid with a 52 ring gauge. The most important thing about Don Alejandro or with Don Robina was that they are the best wrapper growers in Valtarabao region, and during the Habanos portfolio today as well, it is the most unique and most utilized kind of the place where they get their wrappers from. Beautifully shade grown wrappers, and they're used here. But the other thing is that despite the fact that they only have 2 Vitolas that are in regular production, there are a lot of regionals that are launched under this brand. One of the really nice ones that I smoked was the Canadian regional that was launched some years ago, and I really fell in love. Formosos is again one of those very light cigars of mine, and since it was a birthday present and something that I really wanted to smoke today, keeping it light as my second cigar for the day, after the first one being the Polar Aniaga Petit Corona, which again was a box. I was lucky to get a birthday present in the form of a 50 cab a few days ago. So I thought, why not talk about the Vegas Robinas? Very interesting to know. There is a non-Cuban version of this as well, but not in the name of Robinas. But if you see the band, you would immediately realize there are some similarities because that band says HR. And when you say HR, That is Hirochi Robaina being the blender and the owner of that, who is the grandson of Don Robaina, and he grows and he has that brand which is a non-Cuban brand and is available in the, but he still lives in Cuba and other parts of the world, which makes him very unique, that someone who is allowed to be in Cuba still grows and makes and is in the field of cigars, but not Cubans. And this is one of those elegant brands which was for the longest time allowed to have their own farm and not part of the Habanos, because Don Robaina was able to have that discussion with the man of the country, Mr. Fidel Castro, that why should everything be nationalized and why shouldn't we be allowed to do our things? So, as a result of the friendship and someone who actually came and talked about it, he was allowed to do it till his entire life. Uh, it is one of the most visited places while you are in Cuba, other than the festival. And if somebody is going to Pinal del Rio, two of the most visited farms are one from the Don Robaina farm, and the other one is Hector Luis Prieto's farms. So that's on the Habanos history for today. I'm very surprised that our dear friend Mr. Raza has been quiet and silent. So, Stephen, can you please check up on him if he's alive, if he's kicking, if something's
I will.
wrong?
And wait, we have another surprise for you and the fans. He just did Habanos history, and this is what happens now at the end. And there you go, kids. The first real Habanos history now, and he leaves. These prima donnas, they come, they go. You know how it is. It's terrible. So, birthday boy. He's got the whole world's wishing him a happy birthday. So I've had this cigar.
I'm very much here, just joining with my face in a minute.
Oh, God knows what he's going to do now with his face. So you're on mute, Rizzo, which we love, but you should probably unmute yourself. You're still on mute. And you're still on mute. You're still on mute. There you go. Almost. There you go. Look at you
didn't hear
pushing
me
buttons.
say fuck 6 times.
No.
Usman is going to remove the makeup because for that special presentation,
Hello.
There he is. He's back.
there was I was reading the captions whilst Usman was giving the delivery. I was trying to decoy and sort of like
Engage
keep
the
myself
fans.
aside so that Usman could give a very clean delivery.
What?
I think I owe him that at least
On his
to
birthday?
let him go the way he wants to go.
Are we talking about his birthday and the cigar review, or something totally different that we're going to have a discussion about on DEI hires or something? What are we going? So boys, how's everyone been? Usman, it's your birthday. What are you going to? I mean, you had a
It's
cigar,
your
you got gifts.
birthday.
Well, it's a full day on cigars, if I'm not wrong. I
Okay.
am gonna. Well, I had my first one during lunch, which was a Polar Niaga Petit Corona. Now I'm having Vegas
Guilty.
Urbana, and then to close the day, I have a very interesting plan of having a cigar evening, a virtual cigar herf with a couple of my very dear friends and brothers. One of them actually is here on the chat. So I look forward to that discussion sometime later today. Who's actually written Makhan Rapper and technical name is Makhan Rapper. Well, Makhan in Urdu is means butter. And that's my explanation of when I really find something really nice and the cigar is really like butter and cream. So I call it makhan, and that's what the friends.
It's a compliment. Makhan is a compliment. Something
Makhan, okay,
buttery
very
is a
nice.
compliment.
Very nice.
It imbues richness. It imbues something of the earth. It imbues a creamy taste. It's a compliment.
Wow. Can you use that compliment for like a car or an Asian hooker or what?
Yeah.
So.
Well, the letter, yes, you may.
Just making sure. So, and all the religious people just jumped off there, like, we'll come back in a few minutes. We don't know where this is going to go. So.
Yes, you're
So,
right.
so listen, we haven't seen you like in 6 weeks because you had Ramadan going on, and then last week you forgot the dog ate your homework. Apparently, that's what Rizan
Yeah,
hooked
yeah,
you up with.
yeah.
So how have you been? What have you been up to? Tell the fans everything, and then we'll make them.
Oh, well, well,
Or
well.
don't tell us.
Technically, I'm back in Pakistan physically, but I am still through my heart and
In
mind
Cuba.
in Cuba and Havana,
Right.
and the song, which is like, I feel that my heart is half of it is in Havana. I think that has come true. I
Okay.
really thoroughly enjoyed my time there. And people who actually see me on Insta or know about that can actually see the series that is happening. So it is, after so many days and so many posts, I'm still on to the fourth day of the entire
Okay.
event, because there have been so many events and so much of happening that I can just like catch up with a little. And they're just posts, and there are a lot of videos that are coming up. I'm doing a few things on that as well. But I must say, anyone who's a cigar smoker, who's a Cuban cigar smoker, who indulges in this pleasure and has this lifestyle, one at least one time visit to the Habanos festival in their lifetime is a must. They must go,
Right.
because it is a ball of its own kind. It is complete fun to be there and enjoy the camaraderie you share with the fellow bottle and subtle or the people of the leaf and your cigar family. But it is so much of a learning opportunity, so much of a fun activity, so much of pleasure, and the air itself is so amazing that the entire country is a humidor. So
Okay.
and absolutely, cigars do taste way much better when you're in Nirvana. So I think that is not at all an exaggerated statement, I'm a big fan of that. So
Okay.
it was phenomenal, from going landing there, enjoying the official events, to going to the farms and visiting the farms, to visiting the factories, looking at how the cigars are being rolled, to being taught on how to roll a cigar, and being part of that whole thing,
Mhm.
ultimately being able to go to the most important, famous, and the poshest of the factories, which is the El Leguito, where the globally renowned famous brand Cohiba is made, and seeing that being made, the additional barrel aging that happens to the leaves for that and fermentation, it was super mesmerizing. And then ultimately the grand finale, where they launched the Behike 58, which is the newest Vitola in the linea Behike, is something which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I loved being part of that whole thing. So I think
I-
there
We have
is
a
no,
question though from one of your fans, your friend from Oman, or said, "How many days would you recommend going to Cuba to hang out and then
if
go?"
okay, so if you're going for the festival, I would definitely suggest, and after my experience, because I feel I was too short for that,
Okay.
one must go for at least 3 to 4 additional days than the festival days,
Okay.
which could be ideally a couple of days in advance and a couple of days after that, or 3 4 days in advance or 3 4 days at the end, because just being there for the festival days, you're packed. So if you want to
Right.
enjoy Havana, if you want to have a relaxed time, also that's the thing. But if you're just going to Cuba without the festival, I think a week is a decent time to be
Okay.
there, enjoy the overall
And
ambience, the whole culture of Cuba and cigars and all of that.
and if you're an American, you probably won't be able to go anymore. So because
So
you're an
you can.
orange man.
I
So
don't know if you cannot be, because
there, yes,
uh,
you can go, but they have flights out of Miami. They have Southwest, I
mhm.
think, has one. American has one. JetBlue. They all have a flight. But
Yes.
my point is that with all the fun stuff we have going on here in this
Oh
country,
yes.
I'm not sure if you're going to be allowed to go to anywhere by the end of the
See,
year.
I don't know. See, that's something which is worrying me on a personal thing, and generally I am the one who's to talk least on this show when it comes to
Yeah.
other than cigars. But on this point, right now, people like me are worried. I mean, we have those US visas, the multiple
Yep.
year, number of years visas, and all that stuff. And all of us are actually wondering whether we will be able to go still, we will be able to get an entry upon arrival, based on our officially stamped visa, or is that going to be a problem even with the visa? And a lot of people are not sure. So if you, being an American citizen, is saying that you might not be able to go to other places of the world, imagine what's the other
Yeah.
side thinking as well. So that's a shame, because what a phenomenal country, what a beautiful place, so big of the landscape to view, visit, and enjoy, and not
Yep.
being able to go there despite having all the legal paperwork and everything.
Mhm.
It would be a shame for at least people like me who've been to the US at least 3-4 times, and I've enjoyed every single time I've been there.
Yeah,
So,
no, I'm hoping that the orange man doesn't get, too authoritarian. And by the way, Ruben, your new best friend from Miami, says there's 6 flights a day from Miami
woohoo!
to calm down to Cuba. So there you go. So there's six
This
flights a
who
day, kids.
this who was to hear, because Ruben's here.
Yes.
Hello, Ruben.
So there you go.
Ruben is a gem, and in my last post that I've made, I've specifically mentioned Ruben because he flew all the way from Florida one day before the gala, only because he wanted to meet
Wait,
me
wait.
and called me
First
right
of
from
all,
the airport.
first calm down, calm down. The flight
Nah,
from Miami to Cuba is a 30-minute flight. It's not like he flew to
doesn't
Pakistan or
matter.
London to see you.
Doesn't matter. Given the U.S.-Cuba relations, if
Right.
somebody has just taken that flight for me, I'd be obliged and I'd be humbled because of that.
I
So
know, no, I
Ruben,
agree that it was very nice for him to go. I think that
yes.
was very cool. But it's be different if you said Ruben came from Miami to Pakistan for a day. Then we're very excited. But it's literally
I
like
can
Ruben driving up to
Stephen,
have lunch with me in Palm Beach.
Stephen, I have better chances of
Yeah,
you and Ruben flying into Pakistan to meet me
yeah.
than the
You
than the
coming? You
princess
coming to meet us?
than the princess we have on the show, who has been coming to Pakistan for the last 7 months now,
No, that's a year.
and
It's a
and,
year
and,
now.
and is surprisingly very quiet.
Yes, I see that.
because
Well,
because we haven't had you on the show for like
6 weeks.
6 weeks, seven
Yeah,
weeks.
right.
The courtesy,
Oh my God.
the courtesy is that you, and it's your birthday. You
Now he
have the
left.
floor. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. And because you've given me this liberty and it's my birthday, I am in a very fun mode. So I'm gonna
Are you going to the toilet now with the?
Are you going to the loo? He's going
no
to the
no
loo.
no 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 no. I'm not going anywhere.
Nadar asks a question while Isman's in the loo, so he gives him time. It says the aging comes by chance because we have so many boxes, and from time to time we smoke from this and that, isn't it? And then, oh, here we go. Another. Look at what do you want? A safari now?
Let's
What
call
the
it. Let's call
hell?
it. Let's call it a pith
Yes, I know
helmet.
it's called a pit helmet. I'm just saying, is he on a safari all of a
But
sudden?
the most important reason I just quickly saw it and I was like, I'm gonna wear it, is because this is again a gift to myself
Okay.
on my birthday. And
Wait,
there's
you
this very
bought that?
specific, yes, there's a
You bought
specific
that?
reason. There's this very specific reason
Yeah.
for buying this,
Okay.
because it has been made. These have been recreated by again a dear friend who has been on an amazing, I would say, passion and a mission to save the legacy of the founder of Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was one of the most elegant and, as we call it, the OG smoker for Pakistan.
Okay.
And he shared a few pictures that Jinnah used to wear those linen hats, double-breasted, and all that stuff. And at a lot of occasions, he was seen wearing or carrying a pith helmet with it. So he has recreated exactly the same looking these ones from Far East, and
Okay.
that's when I saw the relevance and all of that. So I bought it, and today is actually the first day when I've worn it. So why not? What better occasion than to wear it on my birthday and kind of try to accept and acknowledge the passion I share, which comes from the forefather of this country.
You look like
So
Dr. Livingston.
and thank you, Saad Prenza Accessories, for actually bringing this to at least the Pakistani community.
Everybody should have a pith helmet. You never know when you're gonna like fall into quicksand. So you got to wear it. So it's one of those things. So those are great. Next time I'm in Africa, I'll make sure to look one up. So
Yep.
instead of my New York Mets baseball cap. So I'll be trendy.
Stephen, I'm gonna get
Yes.
worried now.
Why are you gonna get worried?
It's been almost 35 minutes. Raza has spoken twice for less than 2 minutes. I'm getting a heart attack. Is he okay? Can you please check on upon him?
It's actually AI. We've got used to the AI. Abdullah just
No.
Yeah.
If it was AI, then we would have started to hear all those crappy discussions about dead
cigars,
leaves and dried leaves and whatever the shit you're talking about. The fact that there is someone who's wearing a proper jacket.
I know.
And
no pants though.
Yeah. So that tells me that he's
Giorgio.
and not live.
Let me pick that up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not cheap yellow suits.
There we go. Abdullah says, I thought those hats were supposed to protect you from the sunlight. Abdullah, he's indoors, but he's such on his birthday, he's such a bright star that he needs to protect himself with the sunlight. So that is why he's wearing a hat indoors. That's how cool he is today. Next week, he'll just be Usman.
I'm still struggling in my head to work out what the function of the pith hat or pith helmet was.
It was supposed to keep your sunlight.
Was it protective? Was it multifunctional? Was it protective? Was it what was the reason for that design and that look?
Protective from sunlight.
From sunlight. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is it a hard hat?
It's actually a hard hat, so it saves your head from any kind of thing that can just fall off.
Like if you're walking through the jungle and there's stuff falling on your head, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like a monkey.
Now,
and the beauty of this one is that these are specially made on order from Vietnam, all the way from Vietnam, to ensure the authenticity is right.
Now, the question is, it looks similar, but it's not I'm sure it's not the exact same as a polo.
No.
There's a similar in my eyes. There's a similarity to it.
They're small. What he went to go get a polo hat now?
He may have the whole collection. He may have the whole damn thing.
He may have the collection. Sure, I can see that. These wealthy guys in Pakistan, that use child labor to make iPhones. This is what happens. So this is what Trump's against. He doesn't want. We're going to bring child labor back to the United States. So we're very excited about that. No more labor laws. The 8-year-olds in the factory.
Steven, I don't think you're going to get child labor in United States. It's going to be just labor because you don't have children left there. You have all those fat people who eat McDonald's all the time.
I can actually hear from the change in volume how Usman is roaming around the lounge.
The house looking for his polo hat. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Assan says. Yep, Assan says you're very right. At one point, they used to wear similar to pith hat. There we go. There's a polo hat. For polo. There you go. So,
it's not that much different other than the color. I mean,
it's small.
Oh, no. I see. It's more like a baseball. Fucking hell!
It's a hard baseball cap. Yeah.
So this is a polo hat, which is like this, and this is a pith hat. So they're both very different because
I've seen people wearing white polo hats that look almost the same as pith hats.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, the white, it's a white supremacist thing when they do that. I like the ones with color. I like the RGB hat.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So nice. I don't know. Since Raza is giving me a lot of time today, so I'm gonna again about the present that I've received.
Sure. We'll just zoom in on you.
Case Elegance. Nice. Claro cigar case. A very interesting, very nice one. And I like it because of the simplicity of just the black thing. And
I know a girl that said that once.
and so if I may be able to show it, that's
look at that. Very pretty.
It has like the support to keep it, and then you can put a bobida and all that stuff, so it can carry up to 8 cigars. But the reason I picked it out is that finale for today is going to be with my most favorite brand and most favorite Vitola.
Right.
In the Grand Reservoir. So that is
very nice.
H. Upman.
2008?
Yes, sir. H. Upman, Sir Winston Grand Reservoir. for the finale tonight. So that's something which I feel like smoking during my virtual herf with the brothers.
Can you hold it
Nice.
up again? Can you hold it up again? Because then
He's
that'd
talking
be
about the
humorous.
cigar, by the way. So,
Hold, Usman, hold it diagonally so I get it across.
oh, he's gonna put the pith helmet on now.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Let's just get a close up for you. There you go.
Bear
Can
with
you?
me.
There you
Bear
go.
with me. Bear with me. Bear with me.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
that's a good photo. That's a birthday
Yeah,
photo.
there you go. There's a birthday boy. All right, very nice. There we go, fans. Hopefully you got that. So very nice. All right. So look, everything is good. It's your birthday. America's coming to an end. So we're all moving to another country, apparently.
That's the only bad thing that I like.
Or if the only bad thing on your birthday, America's coming to an end. Okay. So,
Yeah.
well, we still can't get Cuban cigars here legally. So that's the bad part. I talked to Donnie the other day, and it's like, Donnie, I can be the Cuban cigar czar. So I'm hoping that he takes me seriously and, I can bring cigars here. I'll taste them all and then give the ones I do to the peasants.
You're
I figure that's
talking.
okay.
You're talking when it comes to America. You're talking doom and gloom. Yeah. Don't forget that
Yeah.
every dog has his day, and that also, from a reverse point of view, all of this will end the moment transition happens. The next government will come and change it all back to normal again,
Yeah, but
and
that's
everyone will.
if there's an election. You guys keep
There will
thinking there's going to be an election in 4 years.
inevitably there will be. No one lives forever. No one lives forever, and it is always the people who, I mean, and you've got very good examples right now of people where power and money have basically made them feel immortal. No one's
Right.
immortal. It will come to an, it will correct itself, but that's a different discussion for a different show at a different
Oh
time.
no, we can actually have that here. If you're talking about Bezos sending his wife into space with 4 of her girlfriends, and everybody thinks that was a scam. I mean, sure, if that's what you're talking about, like if you're stupid, and you don't know what to do with your money. Okay, you could do that.
Well, he was hoping that she wouldn't come back necessarily, because then it would
Maybe, I
be
don't
like
know.
sort of like the insurance policy would have paid out. Look, it happened in front of everyone, and there was no foul play or anything
Yeah.
like that, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a sort of no lose policy. You don't lose in any direction, right? Okay.
I thought the best part of that space program is when they opened the door, the girls opened it, and then they're like, no, put it back so we can open it. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I thought that was but seriously, think about it. You're worth,
But
I don't know,
I'm
however much.
just wondering. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering where, in terms of the dominance of China, the dominance of Russia, but
Yeah.
especially in terms of dominance of China, in all of these discussions about economies and world
Yep.
politics, China's relevance is, in terms of talking point, it always was relevant, but now people
Mhm.
are actually seeing what a
Yeah.
miner is. Actually, for as hobbyists, as people who smoke cigars, the prices of these, are they going to be more distorted? Is the market going to be more distorted? Is the market going to sell? I wonder where that's going. And I really don't know. Usman would be better placed to know those things. I'm an end
Right.
user. Usman is a bon vivant. He is also well placed in the industry to give answers like that. A sort of a cigar economist.
Yeah.
And I think
First of all, first of all,
cigar
I,
economics is something that people don't, I mean, people talk about these things in sort of like herfs and things like that. But I
Right.
think that's turning into, within this industry, a little sub industry of cigar economics.
Yeah.
first of all, I'd prefer to stay in the cigar smokers category and not part of the industry, purely from a perspective that this is hobby and passion for me.
No, but
I have no commercial.
you're well placed to give an analysis
Of
of
pricing.
not just pricing, but where people think this is going, or
Right.
what their thoughts are, and you are very well placed to put those into a sort of a hat and give a sort of a flavor of that.
Yeah,
That's
right, right. So from that perspective, first of all, just so that everyone knows, the pricing is gonna stay. The pricing is not going anywhere, and the only thing that's gonna happen is it's gonna go up with Habanos trying to bring in more premium cigars and more premium lines within their portfolio. With, if you see, out of the 6 global brands, 4 of them have the premium lines. So Cohiba has Linea Bihique, Partagas has Linea Maestra, Romeo y Julieta has Linea de Oro, and Montecristo has Linea 1935. So the only 2 global brands, which is A. Chapman and Hoyo de Monterrey, are the ones which do not have the premium lineas right now. So I'm guessing it's just a matter of a couple of years when you'll have those. And they're actually focusing more on those lines, because that means maybe producing less but yielding more margins and better profits, which is bringing to a situation where the regular smoker and the regular consumer is a bit stressed out because I'm unable to find my regular D4s and Royal Coronas or Poranagia Petty Coronas or Epicure 2s, which used to be the daily smokes, and guilt-free smoke still available between $25 to $30 a stick, as compared to everyone going and buying sticks worth $80, $90,
Right.
$100, which is not something that I'm going to do or anyone is going to do daily unless they have $1 million per year to spare from that perspective. So I don't think that is something which is gonna change, and especially with with the players from China having their say in the Habanos portfolio, and we seeing a huge amount of Chinese and the Southeast Asian fellows at the Habanos festival this year, tells me that this is gonna stay as is. So not something which is going to change, and the pricing is going to go. And even if during the festival, the maximum amount of purchasing that happened were by the Chinese, because they were still ready to buy all these expensive
Right.
smokes. And during the festival, finding the regular cigars was a pain because there weren't any in most of the lounges.
Hmm.
It was a shame because people from all over the world fly in, and if they don't find their regulars, even in Cuba, what are they going to do and when are they going to find them? But on the other hand, if we talk about the strategy from a business perspective, so I think they're doing the right thing, because focus on quality, focus on the production being in check, yet make the same amount of margins and profits. So it's a game of that, which is happening right now.
Yeah, but the
I
interesting
think
part.
you referenced. Oh, sorry, Stephen.
Right. Good.
I think you referenced Usman the. So it was. It's stuck in my brain. The Wednesday H. Upman dinner
Yes,
at the Habanos Festival.
yes, the Capitolio.
Whilst I don't, you weren't there, right? And you said that many people were quite disgruntled because they weren't able to make it. Was like limited. It was 1,000 seats, and it was then reduced to 500 seats or something like this.
Yes, so
So
the
the
entire.
reason I reference it, is that may have been a good litmus test of where the industry is perhaps going. Sometimes you see people and you see sort of like demographics of people attending these events, and you see, right, oh, well, these are the people in favor, or these are the economies in favor. So that's what I was thinking, maybe,
Well,
Um,
the other question is,
and
it
I and
says,
I
well,
thought
the new
because you were there,
tariffs.
you were well placed to give a sort of a feedback as to, hang on, it's going this way now. Now it's going this way. Now it's going this way.
And
At the
Abdullah
end of the day,
wants to know,
money
well,
talks.
yeah, Abdullah wants to know if the tariffs are going to make a change in anything. I don't think the Cuba is sending out cigars to, like, if you will, China, the UK, Asia. I don't think they may have tariffs, but I don't think they're not coming to the United States. If they did, we'd probably have 10,000% tariffs. So I don't know if that's going to actually change anything. The tariffs that we're implementing, that may have something to do with Dominican cigars or something, but that's about it. I don't see it, hitting it.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
But the tariffs for Nicaragua were different, and I've been reading to a lot of comments from some forums that
right.
apparently the tariffs on Nicaragua are slightly higher, and that might impact. Is that the case, or what?
I,
What?
I
What?
don't, I don't know. I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's so inconsequential, right? A box of cigars will say, I'm sure it costs somebody here $50 and they sell for 500. I think it falls under the $800 threshold. Now, if they're doing it on a container full, that's a little different. Ruben may know the answer if Ruben's still on. But I'm not sure how that's going to play out. So, I mean, granted, they may go up a little bit, but I don't think they're going to go, like, if you will, like when, Trump's like to China, by the way, we're going to, 7,000% tariff. And they're like, oh, okay. So I think it's a little different. So I don't know what the cigars are going to do. And once again, we don't get Cubans over here. And if we did, I'm sure he'd put a tariff on it. It just seems like it's the craziest thing in the world. We're still fighting a war from 1960s with them. You know what I mean? Like, we import stuff until, Russia invaded the Ukraine. We were importing stuff from Russia. We're importing stuff, if you will, from China. from the Korean. I mean, we're doing all this stuff from countries theoretically that are good, bad, or indifferent, and all. But Cuba, who's 90 miles away, we don't do anything with. We import from Mexico. I'm talking about people, not product. So it's a good thing. So it's just interesting on how that is. So 18% of Nicaragua, does that include the cigars? Because if it's 18%, theoretically, that's not, no one's going to know like a $10 difference in their box of cigars.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? I think about it. If you're spending like on a box of Davidoff Churchills, it's like $400 a box. So what's 10%? It's going to be $450. Okay. I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's not, it's high enough, but is it noticeable enough? And they make enough of a margin where if they're smart, they could actually not raise the price and still make their margin.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. The only thing is, what is the consumer in the US going to be okay with that?
You know what? That's the consumers right now in the United States are having to face, because of these tariffs and because of pricing and whatnot, everything's going up. I mean, oil and gas up north because of Canada, eggs. We always like to pick on the eggs. Cars are going to go up. Everything's going to go up. I mean, I know they keep putting on a tariff, taking off a tariff, putting on, taking off. So inflation right now is starting to rise. So either a couple of things are going to happen. Either the administration wakes up and says, no more tariffs. It's not going to work. We have to negotiate differently. Or they're going to do what they think they're going to do. They'll go into a recession. And we've never really globally come out of the 2008 depression. And yes, I used the D word. We had a global depression in 2008.
Yes,
we've never really fully recovered. So what this will do is this will put us into a deeper, I don't want to say recession because that's bullshit. We're going to go into a deeper depression globally. And I'm not sure how that benefits anybody. The only thing that gets you out of a depression, unfortunately, is a war, which is what they proved in, World War II. But they didn't get out of the 29 depression until 1954. So that's an issue. This thing where we're doing tariffs, William Taft, the president who did tariffs, said the only bad thing with tariffs is basically like a bribe. Like it's an illegal way for you to make money. And so we're basically reverting back 100 years ago. So when we keep saying history repeats itself, it really does. And nobody's seeing it. I don't care how much money you have. You can be Jeff Bezos sending your wife and her girlfriends into space, or you can be, the average family, but you're going to start seeing an increase in everything. And at some point, enough is enough. And I don't know how that's going to play itself out, whether it's cigars, whether it's scotch, whether it's cars or clothing or food or, and here in America, just to touch on Ruben saying everything is going crazy in America, which is true, especially in South Florida. But here in America, the Chinese just canceled their $2.5 billion worth of beef orders. They're now doing that with Australia. So Trump's tariffs, when he goes, America, America, he's not actually helping America. Now you have farmers who just lost $2.5 billion. So
that's exactly what I'm like thinking, that you're trying to reduce your debt, but
right.
You're actually getting into a whirlwind where you're going to face a lot of difficulties if that happens. So instead of being able to reduce that debt, you're going to end up in a much higher one, if I'm not wrong.
No, and it's not only that. And Ruben also says Habanos did go up recently, like 5%. I was at a recent Cuba and LCHD price did go up like 5%. So everything's going up. And now part of it's because things go up. Part of it's, I'm assuming, because of what's going on. But like you take a look at, I like China. Let's take a look at China. China has they have 90% of the rare earth minerals, which is great. We have one mine in California. That one mine produces in a year what China produces in a day. For us to get another rare earth mine up and running would take apparently like 25 to 30 years because of all our regulations and BS. The problem with that is cars, phones, laptops, not cigars, as far as I know, need these minerals to run. Airplanes, Boeing just got, I think, $30 or $40 billion worth of contracts canceled from China. Well, that's helping America. You're going to put all these people out of jobs. I mean, not the CEO who makes $30 million a year for planes that crash and use spaceships that can't go to space and bring people back. But if you think through all of that, it's very bad economically. And so instead of them, swinging their big, and not knowing what they're doing. And I've said this before, and I said it before the election. If they had some forethought and went A through Z, I'd be very happy. My problem is they go A, B, C, D. Let's see how it goes. And there's no plan. If it, you know what I mean? It's like you can't blink. You know what I mean? They blink, they blink, they blink, they go back and forth. Now they're going to get out of the Ukraine-Russia negotiations. Okay. So Poland, we're coming for you, baby. Like, springtime for Hitler, and Mel Brooks is the producers. We're going to roll through Ukraine. Poland's next. So Riza is going to be speaking Russian soon. So it's, this is what people
Who
don't seem to
knows?
understand.
Who knows? He speaks already. Just doesn't tell us.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think he is Russian, actually. Yeah, I think he's just Russian with a tan. But I'm just saying, if you look at things globally and politically, there's so many issues, and everybody's like, "Oh, if you say this, you're on the right or you're the left." No, why don't we just tell the truth and have a dialogue about it? And nobody wants to do that because everybody gets uppity. It's like, "Oh, you're that." No, it's just, what are we doing? Like Americans becoming an authoritarian country. Okay, well, Americans are leaving because of that. Americans are worried about their assets, are worried about their investment. So, and I know we're not the be all for the countries, but when we sneeze, the rest of the world gets the cold, right? So everything we're doing, whether you're an ally, you're not an ally, whether you're China and we imports or blah, blah, is affecting everybody here as much as it's affecting, whether it's Pakistan, whether it's London, whether wherever, Cuba, wherever. We're affecting everything, and no one's put forethought through it. So,
Right.
I don't know. What do I know? There you go. Nobody. Yes, Nardo says you're enjoying your Vidola, your Fatola. Yes, he is. So that's all I had to say on that, because we usually have a little political commentary, and bringing back to cigars. So they went up 5%. So let's assume Cuba has to get its nitrates and things for the soil, not from the 57 Chevys that drive around, but from China or from Russia. Let's assume all those are going to go up. So where Ruben's talking about a 5% increase, let's say now you're going to have a 30 or 40% increase because those prices go up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you have to look at it. Ruben says, I think if flights from Cuba are canceled, it'll only be the ones going to some other places. I can at least find flights. Habana will continue. I agree with him on that.
I kind of view, I don't say this disrespectfully, it's just that my brain is wired like this, yeah. I kind of view Cuba
Yeah.
as the Disneyland of cigars.
Yes.
Now, what I mean by that is premium products sold at premium prices, global franchising, global marketing, but flying into Cuba or going to Cuba or visiting Cuba, to me feels like visiting, Disneyland in Orlando. Everything is, tailored to give you that Cuban cigar experience. There's lots of messages coming in on that. That's how I see it. And if you enjoy that, you enjoy it. Full stop. It's all about enjoying cigars at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, but everybody can go to Disney. Not everybody can go to Cuba. To go to Cuba as an American Ruben can speak better than I can to it, is a little bit of an event. Like if I want to go to Disney, and when I lived in Palm Beach, I got in the car, I drove 2 hours north, and I went to Disney, and I bought my VIP tickets and had their concierge service take me around, and I had to do what I wanted, and I left. If I want to go to Cuba, it's a little different. And as the administration starts cracking down on what they desire, bad people and undesirable, I don't know if it's going to be that easy where you're going to have 6 flights. Back in the day, before the 6 flights, I would have friends that would fly to Panama or Canada, and that's how they got to Cuba. They'd be like, all right, we'll just go to Panama. We'll go, and they would go to Cuba and come back, and that would be it. But now that we have no allies, meaning, if you will, Canada, I don't know how that's going to fare. So, I think the new travel and the new this and the new that's going to be a very different way for cigars and other things as we, go into this new era, whatever the era is going to be. Hopefully the emperor is gone in 2028 and we have an election, whether it's Republican or Democrat, don't care, as long as we get somebody with fresh ideas. But if it stays this course, I don't know what's going to happen.
Here's a question for Usman. Not from there, from me, yeah. Next year's Habanos event is very likely to fall right in the middle of Ramadan.
Yes.
Oh.
For the next 3 years, well, for the next 3 years, yes, it is going to be like that.
Or some sort of overlap, right? In the middle kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
What are your pointers and advice for people who are going to be, some of us who are sort of in that Ramadan spirit? How do you negotiate that? Is the Habanos festival worth attending whilst you're fasting throughout the day?
Right. Okay. So
I think it's a
first,
reasonable question. I think it's a very
yeah,
reasonable question.
first things first. You know, for us, it depends, and when I say for us, I'm talking about the Muslim community who observe Ramadan. Ramadan is, well, if you're religious and if you're very clear, if you're like me, Ramadan is not a choice. It's something which you have to do for anyone who's 12 years or older. So
Oh,
now,
Rizzi, you're fine.
pardon?
I said Rizzi's fine. He can go.
Yeah. So now that's one. But again, there's a choice when you're traveling. You are allowed to skip the fasting. Having said that,
Go on.
having said that, the fasting or the traveling, needs to be something which is very essential and something very much required. And if you can avoid it, you should. But again, it's a matter of personal choice. And if you want to go, I would say, do not. It will be hard.
Let me help you. Let me help you with the question.
No, let me finish. Let me finish the thought. It'll be hard to be fasting during the day and being there because the entire day is scheduled in a way that you have a lot of events and a lot of things going on in the seminars where you're smoking.
Yeah.
So if you're fasting, you're not going to be smoking, you're not going to be eating anything, and everyone else is smoking. So practically, you are there for the entire day without anything, and then once you break the fast, there is a lot of drain of the body and all that stuff, and you feel lethargic. Not very practical. So if you really want to go and if you want to do that, in that case, I would say don't be having the fast. Don't keep the fasting, and do that fasting after Eid and kind of compensate it as the way it is written that if you're traveling, you can do that. But again, it's a matter of your personal choice and principles whether you want to do it or not. I know very clearly that there will still be a lot of Muslims who would be there at the festival.
There'll be what? Sorry, could you say that
a lot of Muslims who would be there at the festival,
Okay.
who would either not be fasting and be there and attend the festival and come and compensate for the fasts. I also suspect there will be some Muslims who will be there who will fast during the day, not smoke, and attend the events. Primarily, that is the type which will be there purely from a perspective because they are in the business and it's kind of their obligation / mandatory thing that they have to be there.
part of their living. Part of their living.
Yeah, part of the living. So they will have to be there. So they would probably do it in a way that they would fast in the day and then just be, complete their requirement. But again, it's purely personal choice. If I get to do that, I'm still at crossroads whether I would do that during the Ramadan period or not. But you never know. You never know. I'm half off. I might go. I might not go.
I think it would be so. The reason it's a bit of a leading question, right? I think it'd be pretty ridiculously cool
Mm-hmm.
to do the fasting and attend the festival and do it properly.
With
And when
a
I
Jew.
say properly, what I mean to say is no smoking in the day, no eating in the day. In the evening, you let go, you eat, you smoke, and
You'll
you
never
try
make
and make it happen.
Raza, problem is during the festival you do not sleep more than 4 to 5 hours in any case, right? And if you are not going to be doing anything in the morning, and if you plan on doing that in the evening,
You sleep in the day, sleep in the daytime kind of thing.
So you can't because then you miss out on the activities of the festival.
But no, that's exactly the pitch. That's exactly the pitch I'm
So
getting
in that case, what you were saying is you go during the festival time, maybe skip on a few of the festival activities and just attend the evening events.
Well, the paid part, if I'm correct, the
paid
parts take place in the evening.
No,
correct?
the paid part
All day.
starts from 1 o'clock in the morning till the evening. See, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, you have evening events, which are the paid parts, which are the dinners of the Monday, Wednesday, the noche, the first welcome night.
Monday, Wednesday, and
Yeah,
Friday.
the welcome night, the midweek event, and then the gala night on Friday.
Right.
But
Right.
during the day, you have the trade fair, you have the conferences, you have the seminars, which are actually sessions happening. Habanos World Challenge is happening during the day, and factory visit is happening during the day. The plantation visit is happening during the day. So then you're talking practically that you miss out on all of that, and you just buy the 3 specific tickets to the evening events and not the morning. If you want to do
Yeah.
that, yes, that's very much doable. And during
Can
the
we go?
day,
Sorry, one additional question. On the evening of the Tuesday and the Thursday,
you're free.
there are still private events that are
Yes, most
taking
of them.
place.
Yeah, and those private events are actually you're invited to those only if you have that connection and you have that all this thing.
So
Yes,
conceivably, you could be fasting, attend a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday event evenings.
yes,
You can, even if you feel like it, attend the daytime events, depending on how
yes,
tired,
yes,
how
yes,
motivated you are. Whether it's to meet people, whether it's to marinate in the industry, whatever it may be, collect cigars, whatever
yes,
it may be, right? But
absolutely.
really, your day takes off at sunset, and you break your
Yes,
fast, you have your cigars, and see. I mean, that's, if anything, that's right. That's really kind of a dedicated thing to do. It's
yeah,
dedicated. Well, it's primarily dedicated to the religious aspect of it. I mean, that's almost sort of a taken for granted. I'm not taking it for granted. That's the part of our obligation. But you still, in terms of enthusiasm, attend the event,
yes,
one
that's
way or
right.
the other.
That's right. That's
But
right.
it's practically possible. You're saying it is practically possible.
And
Absolutely. Anything is possible as long as you want to do it.
all
Yeah.
right, 2 things really quick. Nader says, Usman, if you must travel, you can skip fasting is not an option. So you guys can debate the religious part of it. Ruben said, too many of the wealthy families in Cuba, there's too many of them apparently, so now we're going to kill them. No, I'm just kidding. There's too many wealthy families in Cuba. They're now operating business and they need supplies to get there. So the tariffs are going to affect them to go back to that. And also Nasser wants us to say happy Passover. No, he actually said happy Easter, which being a Jew means nothing to us. So happy Passover and happy Easter to all the religions that are watching, even though you picked the wrong one. But don't worry about that.
Right.
So
Perfect. Nadir, I hear what you're saying, but again, I started with my whole thing. It is purely a personal choice. Well,
right,
technically, from a religious perspective, it's not allowed. I agree,
okay.
but there is a personal choice how you want to do it. So if you're really motivated that you want to do that and all that stuff, and then
Mhm.
yes, during traveling you have that option. Again, it's debatable on what side of the religion you're talking about and who you're listening to. But again, as I said, I believe in the live and let live kind of thing. I do still believe that I stand on the side where
So will
it
you
is
go next year, the
fasting
next
is
two
not an
years?
option.
Since
Yeah,
so Ramadan, so
option
Ramadan,
is mandatory.
so Ramadan is during the festival for the next 2 years. Will you go or not go? Because
Okay, Stephen. It's for 3 years, and why I say
okay,
3 years is because for the Islamic calendar moves around 10 days
oh, it's like ours. Okay,
early ahead of the lunar calendar, right? So,
right,
which is
right,
why this time Ramadan started right after the gala night from the 1st of March for us,
okay,
right? So next time it is going to be 10 days ahead, which means the festival is going to be right in the middle of or in the first third of Ramadan. Next year will be the second third, and the
right,
third
right.
year will be like the third and tail end or coinciding with the Eid, which means for the next 3 years it's the case. For me personally, if I do get an option and everything goes right, I might do it, especially the next year, not the other 2 years I'm talking. And I'm saying only especially the next year, purely from one perspective. It's the Cohiba's 60th anniversary. So next year, the festival is also going to be a very interesting and an epic
Okay.
one. But again, it depends on what I'm feeling at that point of time in the year,
All right.
if I do feel like doing it or not. See,
Well, I
You have a year to think about it.
well,
yes,
here's
that's
what I also think. If 3 of us decide to go, this would be very good because you have 2 Muslims and a
yes.
Jew. So while
Oh
you
yeah.
guys are sleeping during the day, pussies, I will go to all the events, get your cigars, and tell you
Well,
all about them. I mean, Rizzo will
Stephen,
sleep during the day. So
yeah, Stephen. The only person who will be sleeping is our princess.
yes, that's very true.
So right,
That's
so if I'm gonna go, I bloody well attend everything because $10,000 for me is not a small thing. It's
That's
very
true.
nice.
Well, for RZA, that's a week of cigars. So
Oh,
yeah, it's no big deal. But
that's
I guess it really is that expensive, isn't it? When you have airfare, the
yeah.
festival, and
So
everything.
Stephen, I'll tell you how is it expensive for us. So the entire festival cost is somewhere around 3,500 euros, right? Which is around
Okay.
$4,000, $4,000,
Okay.
right?
All right.
For us, if you take a simple economy ticket, the economy airfare or the cattle class, as you say,
Right.
it is $2,000 at least.
Okay.
Then the boarding lodging, if you stay in not in a hotel or in a casa particular or something, is at least $1,000. But if you stay in a hotel during festival, the prices are very high. So you're talking
Right.
about at least $2,000. So you are
Okay.
at $8,000 mark already,
Yeah.
right? So
8,000.
$2,000 is very easy. So buying cigars, doing
Right.
something, some event, and all that stuff. So $1,500 to $2,000 is a very easy mark that you're gonna end up spending while you
10
are
grand.
there.
Yeah.
So the averaging is somewhere around $10,000. I can very easily say that yes, this can be reduced by at least $2,000 to $3,000 if you plan very much ahead. You buy
Right.
tickets like very early and all that stuff. That is all
Right.
possible. But again, you do not know how the world is going to be in a year's time, given
Right.
all what is happening right now. What's going to
Yeah.
be the airfare? What's going to be the festival pricing? Let's say this time it was around 3,500 euros. Next time, if Habanos decides to put the festival at 5,000 euros, who's going to stop that?
It's
Right.
it's still less expensive than going to Disneyland Paris for 2 days.
You know,
It's less expensive than going to Disney Orlando for 2 days. What are you kidding?
absolutely.
Disney
By the way,
Orlando.
you think I'm joking, yeah?
No, you're right.
No.
He's done that. No, I wasn't.
Disneyland Paris Hotel 10 years ago. Now this is 10 years ago, was €1,500 a night.
That's crazy.
Right. Listen,
That's the Disneyland Hotel.
Raza Orlando, 2019, right?
Yeah.
I did it, and you were talking of 10 years ago. I'm talking of 6 years ago.
Yeah, I went to Orlando as well, 2013. That
Yeah.
was a $10,000
Yeah.
trip.
Very easily. Yeah, that's how it
And
is.
now,
And that's
now
why
if
I
you
was
go-
making. That's why I was kind
Yeah.
of in my head connecting this all up with Disneyland, right? Yeah, I mean entering Cuba, because that's the kind of. I mean, you're basically going for tour. Apart from people who are in the industry, right? People like you and I, we're going for tourism. We're going for cigar tourism, if you feel like it, right?
Right.
Yeah. And that the price associated with that tourism, that package deal, is all things said and done. It's I don't want to say this out loud too much. I hope not too many people are listening because I don't want the prices to go up. Right? It's still kind of reasonable for that kind of cigar tourism.
Yeah,
Correct.
sure,
But
that's
Disney
right.
World will cost you 10 grand because if you don't do the concierge VIP service, which itself is $6,000 to take you
Yes,
through the parks, you will go on one ride and you will have pissed away a couple $100 for you and your family and gotten on one or two rides. So if you don't spend the 6 grand to have the little guy in the vest, whether it's a Disney or Universal, take you through all the parks, have lunches and do whatever, you'll have to spend 3 weeks there to see everything. And so just that alone before hotels, you're at 4 to 6 grand. And then by
Yeah.
the time you do hotels and everything else, and then if you do the VIP, they give you food. But I mean, then there's souvenirs and there's this. So by the time you're done, you're 10,000, and that's if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So there's no more. It used to be, listen, I was at Disney when it opened up in 72 or 74 as a kid. My parents took me there, and I remember they did like the A, B, C, D, E tickets, and all the cool rides were the E tickets. Right? You bought a little book of tickets. Now they did then they got like Hershey, Pennsylvania, where Hershey was like, pay one price, ride everything. Okay. So then they did that. But then it was like $30. Now it's like, for a day, it's for a person is like $100 to $200. So if you have a family of 4, that's $1,000. So the whole point is that we're the country and most countries are pricing themselves out of everything. So when they talk about like earnings and all this other stuff, it's kind of like, okay, that's great. Now what? So whether it's cigars, whether it's your trip, whether it's Disney, we're pricing ourselves out for the average person. It really is going to be a have and have nots. And I say this on the other shows, especially Lost Dollar, because it's a business show. There's 8 billion people on the planet. When 7.5 billion of them decide to take a picnic, it's not going to be well. And so, we have to come with a different way of thinking how to get everybody back to a big kumbaya moment. So, because it's not going to go well if we keep going this way. What do I know? So there you go.
That's a good question. Abdullah asked, how's the spending on essentials in Cuba?
Oh, very, 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 very cheap. Very cheap. That's
Okay.
very reasonable. That's very reasonable. I mean, that's why I said if you're not staying in a hotel during the festival, $1,000 is more than enough for you to dine in the best of the best restaurants, stay in amazing casa particulars and all that stuff, and you will still end up spending less than $100 in a day. So that's all cool. That's all cool. Gents,
Yes, you have to go. It's your birthday.
Today is a pressed day. I was going to request if I can beg leave for today.
Well, we're gonna be done with the show. Thank you, fans, for watching. Don't miss the rebroadcast later this afternoon. We'll see you next Saturday. Usman should be here. We'll see.
I would be there.
Happy birthday, birthday boy! And don't forget to subscribe and like. Tell your friends. We'll see you all next week. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you, Raza. Stay there.